Hi, good morning, everybody. Today's lesson, I'm going to show you guys how to measure angles so that you can use this skill to help you solve your mystery. Okay, so up here on the screen, I've got two rays here. I've got ray BA going out this way and ray BC going out here along the bottom. And then I also have this tool here down at the bottom as well. This is called a protractor. Okay, now you should have received one in your packet that I sent home. Oh gosh, it was a while ago now, but you should have received one. Yours is probably orange, or I think a couple of you got different colors, but it should look something like this. Although yours will be hollow on the inside. They'll be cut out right there. Okay, and this protractor is a tool that we can use to both measure angles and to draw angles. And so we're going to kind of learn how to do those two things this morning. Okay, so up here, just as kind of a way of review, right? We've got angle ABC. And so I would label that. I'm going to switch colors here, but I would write that like this: angle A, B, C. So A, B, C. So that means when I label this angle that I'm talking about the space right here between those two rays. Now, when we're measuring angles, we use degrees, and it was decided a long time ago that circles would have 360 degrees in them. Okay, and so we use a semicircle. A protractor is half a circle, right? That has 180 degrees in it. And so when we measure that angle, we're measuring how much of a circle is that angle. Essentially, that's what we're doing. And so the way to do it is fairly simple, okay? You're going to take your protractor and you take this part down here, if you can see my mouse down here at the bottom, but right here where it's kind of right in the middle, in the semicircle, and we're going to place that over the vertex. Now, the vertex is the point that is inside that angle. So in this case, point B here is our vertex. And so I'm going to move the protractor so that that spot lines up with point B. Okay. Now, the next thing that you want to do is that you want to make sure that the bottom of your protractor, whoops, didn't mean to draw that line. The bottom of your protractor is lined up with one of the rays of your angle. So in this case, I could line it up with either one, but I'm actually going to try to line it up here with BC. Okay, it's typically what you do. You pick the one that's most level, but I'll show you an example where you don't do that. And then the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to measure. But you'll notice that there are two sets of numbers. The outside set is starting at 180 and it looks like it's counting backwards by tens, right? The inside set is starting at 0 and counting up by tens. And so when you're using a protractor, you have to decide which of those sets of numbers you're measuring with. Now, the easiest way to think about it, right? There's two things. One is whatever 0 your bottom ray here is pointing towards, that's the set of numbers you use. So in this case, it's pointing towards the inside 0. The outside 0 is over here, okay? I'm not pointing towards that at all. So I'm going to use the inside 0, inside set of numbers to measure this angle. So I go up and I've got, okay, 10, 20, 30, 40 degrees, almost to 50, but not quite. So I'm going to look out here at these little lines, and there's 10 of them in between. So I can see that I'm 2 away from that 50 line, 2 away. So that would mean that this angle measures 40 degrees, or 48 degrees. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. 48 degrees. Okay, now my protractor on the computer here has a cool feature in that I can kind of, oh, maybe I can. Usually it'll let me, but let's see. I might have to use my mouse instead of my pen. There we go. So I can actually move this green dot up here and match it up with my line, and look. Oh, if you saw when I was clicking it, 48 degrees exactly. Okay, so we're going to try another one. I'm going to show you with another angle. So here, I'm going to skip that one. It looks pretty much the same. I made this presentation to do in class originally, and I'm adapting it now. So here we've got angle ABC again. But this one looks a little bit different, doesn't it? So I'm going to write, sorry for my hand going in front of the camera a little bit. Okay, so there's angle ABC again. We're measuring this angle in here. And so I'm going to move my protractor. That's the first step, move my protractor, so that the vertex, which is B still, lines up with that middle point on my protractor. Okay, but here's the problem. Neither of my rays is matching up with this bottom of my protractor. So I need to actually rotate it so that it does that. And like I said before, you can rotate it. I can either rotate it this way or this way. Whatever your preference is, you'll still get the same measurement. Okay, so I'm actually going to do it this way this time. Okay, so here you can see that my ray here, ray BA, is pointing to the 0 on the outside set of numbers. So I'm going to use the outside set of numbers this time to measure this angle. And so I've got, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, there's the right angle mark. 100, almost, it's kind of halfway between 100 and 110. In fact, it's exactly halfway between those two. So halfway between 100 and 110 would be 105. So this angle measures 105 degrees. And that makes sense if I think about it, because it is obtuse, not huge. It's not a huge obtuse angle, but it is obtuse. It's past 90 degrees. Okay, let's try another one. All right, here I've got angle DEF. Now looking at this, hopefully you're going, oh, it's obtuse, it's obtuse. Okay, so we know that our measurement should be more than 90 degrees. So I'm going to take this protractor and I'm going to line it up on the vertex. Which point is our vertex this time? If you said point E, then you are correct. So I'm going to take my protractor, find that middle point there, line it up with point E, and I don't even have to rotate my protractor this time because ray ED is already lined up with the bottom of my protractor. And so if I'm looking, I look for that 0. I'm using the outside 0, so I'm going to be using the outside numbers to measure my angle. And so we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, okay, all the way. Here's 150 is my closest 10. And then I count how many spots beyond that, 1, and it looks like 2. So I would say that angle DEF is equal to about 152 degrees. Okay. Sorry, my pen is not writing quite right, but you get the idea. All right. Let's do one more. This one might be a little tricky, but not too bad. So here I've got angle NHA. See what I did there? Okay, so I'm going to take my protractor and I'm going to put it on if you said vertex, you are correct. I'm looking for the vertex. The vertex is point H this time. Okay, the one inside that angle there that I'm trying to measure. So I'm going to line it up. Oh, perfect. Yes, I don't have to rotate it again. So now I'm going to decide which set of numbers to use to measure angle NHA. And let's see. I am pointing to the inside 0. So we're going to use the inside set of numbers. So here's 90 degrees, then 100, 110. Okay. Now this one's a little tricky. So here's 115 right here. Okay. So 116 degrees. So angle NHA measures about 116 degrees. Okay. And that's how you measure angles. Okay, so remember, line it up on the vertex. Make sure that the bottom of your protractor is lined up with one of the 2 rays in your angle. And then figure out which set of numbers to use and use the degree marks to find the exact measurement. And that's all there is to it. So you're going to use this to help you figure out the clue that the detective has given you. And hopefully this will help you guys solve the next part of the mystery. Okay, and that's it.